Hi guys, it's Dr. Liz here, and how are you doing? I see Kristen, you're out there being a help, super good supporter. Appreciate it very much. We're going to be getting started in just a couple minutes. Um, Anybody give me some good thumbs up if you can see me? You could drop a 1 in there if I sound good, a 2 if I need to pop up my volume. I'm so glad you guys could all join me. Yay, thank you so much. All right. So is everybody ready to get going? Because I sure am. And I just wanted to thank you so much for joining me in my 3-step marriage reset. We're going to look at how to repair, restore, and renew your relationship, your marriage. And let's get going. So what I wanted to talk to you all about today is, one, how are you doing? How's life? How are you feeling? Drop those comments below, and I just want to thank you for prioritizing your relationship, prioritizing your marriage, and knowing that you and your spouse and your partner are going to benefit from the time that you're investing today. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about why you keep having the same fights and how to finally break the pattern. I think one of the biggest things that I see is so many wonderful couples are smart, they're intelligent, but they keep fighting about something that they don't really realize is going on, and that is the pattern. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to rebuild the connection that they have without ignoring what's already happened. So we're not going to ask you to sweep things under the rug. I'm really going to show you a way to rebuild connection and move forward instead of keep going back. And we're going to talk about the number one hidden pattern that keeps couples stuck and how to shift it. And truly, by the end of this training, you're going to know exactly what to do to start turning your relationship around fast. So you're in the right place. If you want to feel closer, more connected, and understood again, I really want to make sure that everyone is hearing that and seeing that. I want you to enjoy your relationship. I want you to stop feeling like partners. Stop feeling like roommates and start feeling like partners. And maybe you've tried talking it out. It just seems like it goes nowhere fast. You end up having the same fight, just a different day. I want you to be able to grow closer together. So maybe you've tried just letting it go, pushing it under the rug, or just ignoring it, but you're finding that you're growing further and further apart. Perhaps you've tried books, therapy, you've watched a lot of YouTubes, but nothing is really sticking and nothing seems to really move that needle. And I also want to help you learn what is actually, I want you to understand what's actually working, what is making things work for the two of you. Whoops, we'll get back here, sorry. I wanted to teach you how to rebuild the patterns that are keeping you stuck and rebuild the connection to feel like a team. And we can do that together. Get over here. So, excuse me. Obviously, I'm Dr. Liz, but I wanted to talk to you about really what is keeping most relationships they aren't failing because there's a lack of love. They're failing because you just don't have the right tools. And for over 40 years, I've helped couples, thousands and thousands of couples, begin to break unhealthy patterns, to rebuild the trust, to reconnect emotionally. I'm a mother. Yeah, of 2 adult daughters and recently a grandmother of 2 grandbabies. And I've been married to my sweetheart, Mike, for over 39 years. And so what I want you to understand is that most relationships aren't failing because of lack of love. They're failing because couples just don't have the right tools. And I'm here to help you with that. What I do want to do is just one quick thing is get this. So if you just pause one moment with me. Let's see. I want to get, so sorry. I want to make sure that you're able to see me and not all the comments. So let's just get going. This doesn't have to take years to fix. And I want you to be able to understand that you don't have to feel like you're stuck in this loop and you are struggling without having the guidance that you both need. Let's see. Kristen, I gotta figure out a way to get to remove that comment. Let's see. Just not able to do that. All right. Wait. Bear with me, guys. I'm working on this. So we'll just keep going. Let me go back here. All right. Going to take me some time to fix my StreamYard, but it's not going to take you a long time to fix your relationship and fix your marriage. We're going to get that going just fine. I want you to understand, though, this is really telling for me, and it really makes me struggle with couples when they come in the door and things just aren't working well for them. The stats are that 95% of couples said their marriage could have been saved. These are divorced couples. They could have been saved with better communication and tools. And so it isn't about love. It is about skills and skill set. That's all this is. And so if you're in the right place and you've been saying, we're thinking about splitting up, we're thinking about, do we have to end this marriage, this relationship? I want to tell you that no, the stats are saying 5% of couples that ended up in divorce said, yeah, it was important, it was necessary. But 95% of the couples said that their marriage could have been saved with better communication and tools. So that's what we're going to be talking about. That is what we're going to be focusing on and helping you both feel better and connected and able to make things work. Okay. So let's talk about what does work. All right. And I apologize. I'm not sure how to get this Kristen's message off the screen yet, but we'll figure that out for the next. Right now, what we want to be talking about is the 3 R's. It's repair, restore, and renew. These are the things that you need to have to get your relationship on the right track. The first one is repair. And I'm not talking about just something simple where we just sweep it under the rug or tell you to patch it. I'm talking about how you can stop the damage, how you can break the cycle, how the two of you can come together and really feel like it's done. We don't need to keep going over this over and over and over again, right? That's what I want you to be able to do. That's what I want you to be able to walk away with from today. To repair, we have to recognize that that there's a pattern. It's not just a problem. And I want you to stop reacting on autopilot, right? That's really, really important. Recognizing the pattern and it's not just the problem. I'm going to teach you how to interrupt the fight before it escalates, how to pause, how to reset, how to choose differently. How many of you out there in your relationship have a system in place that has you pausing when you start to catch the pattern? Well, I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that when we get through this. The other part is in repair, we've got to shift to communicating. We got to speak to understand. One of the things that I see in some of my couples, in fact, when I was talking with it's Janice and Bob, and they were coming to me. They've come after 15 years of marriage. They were at the point where they're thinking, this is not happening. After 15 years, we already know how each other's going to start the fight. We already know how it's going to end, and it doesn't end well. And even in that short, brief time when we were talking, what I noticed is that Janice was really trying to get in there and prove her point and have her last say. And she wasn't letting the conversation flow. In fact, she had stopped listening to Bob. And so in that moment, we were able to talk about the conversations were not communication. They were not curiosity. They were there to win and speak their piece. One of the things that couples do see is that they do try to fix a conversation, but they're missing what's underneath. And so we're going to learn how to step away from the actual topic and understand the patterns, because that's when you can really move forward and get the traction. Secret here, guys, it's not about the issues. It's really about the connection. When you are connected, there's curiosity, there's interest, there's energy. And one of the big things I would say red flags for me when I'm working with couples is that when they come in and they are not really fighting anymore, they're not really invested. They're more about just hanging out, going through the motions. And so I want you to understand this connection. I want to get that going for you. Statistics show that 46% of divorced couples fought over career demands and their schedules. 43% of them were divorced couples. They fought over parenting. So you've got career demands, schedules, parenting going on, and we're not getting to the real problem. We're not getting to the real issue. That's it. Okay. I've worked with hundreds, thousands of folks, and I want to be able to let you know that so many of them are sharing the wonderful news about working with me. I have had one great work working with Tiana, how she's been raised to be a people pleaser. I didn't know, she says, I haven't been raised a people pleaser. I didn't know how to express my concerns in marriage and in a healthy way. And Dr. Liz helped me with tools to feel heard and seen. And I just want to thank you, Tiana, for going on the record and helping me spread the good news and spread the word. The second one is step in the 3 R's is to restore. How do you restore your relationship back to the same energy that you both had and that you felt in the early days? Or if it really wasn't there, how do you bring it? How do you bring it to life? So we're going to be looking at how do we rebuild trust? And it's not trust like where'd you go? What are you doing? It's emotional trust, emotional safety. How do I feel comfortable again and feel like I can bring up hard topics in our relationship, and it isn't going to go to the divorce, or there's going to be a fight or a round of tears? That's what we're going to be talking about today. And in restoring, we're going to be rebuilding trust in small, consistent moments, not big promises. It's the day-to-day things. It's not the big splash of the new car or that romantic night out. It's really about, you said you were going to come home at 9 o'clock and you were actually here earlier, and that meant a lot to me. You said you were going to text me, or when I texted you, you were able to get back to me in a reasonable spot, or pick up my call. So it's okay to have these little micro moments. In fact, that's what real couples live on and breathe on. I want you to learn how to truly listen, to understand, and not to defend. And you might remember my last, my couple, Janice and Bob. Janice has stopped listening. She was arming herself, to the guns and getting ready to go and fight and defend herself. And that's not where real conversations go. I want you to be able to learn how to show up in ways that create emotional safety so that your partner feels seen, heard, and valued. So as we're going through this, I'd love for you to think about and maybe drop in the comments a 1 if you feel like what emotional safety would look like in your marriage or your relationship. Another big think that I get from folks is that they feel like both of you have to be on board. Both of us have to be there for the same, ready and motivated. And that actually is not true. It really can start with the power of one. And it only takes one person to change the dance, so to speak, in the relationship. And think about when a pebble is thrown into the water, there's this ripple effect. And so if you're that positive pebble and you're stepping into and throwing yourself into the water, that ripple effect is going to change your relationship in a great way. If you have these unresolved conflict and these unresolved issues, that ripple effect drives the relationship towards divorce. So you do have a lot of power. You do have a lot of impact. Maybe you're in your first marriage. The first marriage right now, the divorce stats are at about 39%, meaning that 39% of first-time marriages don't make it. They don't make it. And the typical age or lifespan of these first marriages is about 8 years. Second marriages, it's 65% of them do not stay married. And third marriages, we're talking about 72% of the marriages end. And that's a lot of folks that keep getting back there and trying. The problem is, or the clue is, that 95% of these divorced couples, that they would not have ended the marriage if they'd had better conflict resolution skills. And so these are people that have been in there once, twice, 3 times, and they're saying they just needed better skills. They didn't have it. Sarah and John, thank you so much for sharing your thing. They had tried therapy and it didn't work. In fact, Sarah and John had tried multiple therapists and multiple times, but it didn't work. And working with me and working with my couples coaching, we got it. They had the ahas, the smiles came on, they softened, and they really are still a long-term lasting relationship and couple. The third R is the renew. What does that mean? It means that we're going to recommit and we're going to bring back the passion, the fun, and friendship. And you really need the fun and you really need the friendship in order to have any type of the passion. So we're here. We're going to get it. We're going to learn how to rebuild the friendship, how to know each other again beyond the stress. How many of you guys remember the early days when it was so easy? Maybe it was just an apartment, just the two of you. Maybe there weren't even pets. But when you start adding kids, careers, critters, in-laws, all the other life demands, it's hard at times to hang on to that. We're going to create moments of fun, play, and connection. Yep, you're going to see how you can get back to feeling good about yourselves, good about your relationship, good about the marriage. And being intentional about choosing each other, not just coexisting. Big, honest, but real thing that happens in long-term couples, we tend to start taking each other for granted. We become this efficient logistics team. We come and go and do what we need to do. We conquer and divide, and one goes to the market while the other takes kids to where they need to be. But we don't get to be intentional, and we just start coexisting. We also seem to drop our manners. How many of you out there sometimes wish, well, it would be nice to get a thank you or a please? And the myth is, we've been around this long. We save that for our guests, for the people at work. The truth is, we need to use the please and thank yous to show the appreciation to our sweethearts and to our loved ones. And remember, most couples are trying to fix the conversation, but they're not fixing the pattern underneath. And maybe you are like most of these couples. But understand that doing nothing equals that you're drifting further and further apart. Doing nothing perpetuates the myth that you don't belong together, that there's something wrong with you. There's a time ticking on your marriage, and that's not true. So don't become one of these divorce statistics where 40 to 50%, I think the current one was like in 24 was 40 to 50%. And I just pulled this up before, it's 39+% of first time marriages. The other part that's happening even in long-term marriages, and maybe some of you've heard about these folks that have been together 30, 40, 50 years, is the gray divorce. They've done all the things they needed to do. They've got their careers, they've got their kids, people are launched, going where they want to do. And suddenly they're finding out they don't have anything together because that togetherness got lost in life and the demands of life. So I'm going to show you how to drift together and instead of drifting apart. And this is where many couples stop. They simply say, we gave it a good run. But you know what? You can reignite. There's a way to come back together, to find the way back to for both of you. And it's okay if one starts. Remember, one can start the dance, but it's not okay if the other one refuses. So if you're in a relationship where your partner refuses to even listen to you, refuses to see that there might be another perspective on the situation, we do have some trouble. It's okay if one of you is more motivated than the other. That's typically the way it is. Going out to dinner, you're walking around the house saying, hey, I'm hungry. There's motivation there, right? The other one maybe wasn't thinking about dinner. It wasn't thinking about hunger. But now, yeah, okay, I'll have some food. So it's okay if one of you is more motivated. And if you're here on this webinar, this masterclass, you're one of them. But it's not okay when your partner or your spouse refuses to try. And it is time to consider whether the relationship is over or whether you're ready to get going solo to work on the relationship, to change up how you're showing up in the marriage, in the relationship, because there's still the power of the one. All right. So you don't have to keep waiting for them. You can make the start now. So it's not okay when there's no apologies, when they refuse to try, when they ghost the relationship day after day. When they refuse to try, it's time to consider. And with all folks, I say, let's make sure that we're doing the rocking chair test. Before we say, pull the plug, let's end this, realize you do have the power. You can start with yourself. And as you start to change, they impact the relationship in a positive way and things come around. But today's the day to consider, do you keep doing nothing or do you start, even if it's solo at this moment? Those reluctant spouses, they tend to hop on and then they're really pleasantly surprised. And I'll tell you about one of my couples just real soon. So understand that this is fixable. This is not the end of the relationship, because 95% of divorced couples said their divorce could have been avoided. They did not leave the issues unresolved. They did not do the communication breakdowns. They found the tools that they needed to keep going forward. And this is the way forward. So you ready? You're ready to change this, to know how simple it can be and how effective it can do, to feel connected instead of stuck. Anna and James, they were one of my couples that they really, really were struggling with just how to get through to each other, how to express themselves in a way that the other person heard them. And they hit it. It's fun. I've been told sometimes that say like I'm a miracle worker, but I really like they'll call me. I've had folks say, we need your interpreter, because my goal is to get into your relationship, to understand your vibe, to understand each of your voices and help each other see that. And so for these couples, it was the coaching that made the difference. And yes, 100 years and years and years of being marriage, family therapist, licensed, actually 40 plus years. And it's taking those skills and applying it in the way that's working for my couples in the Connected Couples Collective. I'm going to be excited to tell you all about that. You see, You can keep struggling. You have choices. You have choices today about how you spend your time, where you spend your energy. And you can keep struggling in the relationship alone, or you guys can choose to fast track and transform yourself, transform your relationship, have the skills, wake up feeling excited about being in a relationship in the marriage, or lonely and questioning, what am I doing? And I sure hope you do choose choice two. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Connected Couples Collective and why it's working for my couples. So those are just some of the ones that I'll tell you about Gina and Dave in just a little bit. But inside your Connected Couples Collective, it's a private community. You're going to have monthly Zoom with me. We have a private VIP space for questions and answers inside this community where you're going to get real information, not social media and what's trendy, but you're going to find from me what's really working and where guidance that you could use to handle the situations in that moment. You have opportunities to work with me one-on-one. That'd be private. You have access to a VIP calendar. And you're going to have a huge resource of private tools, training, videos. And so you're going to learn communication, conflict resolution, and rekindling the romance, creating healthy habits in just as little as 30 days. It's that fast. But you have me in there for longer than that. Inside the Couples Connective, the Connected Couples Collective, it is a guided space, so you're not going to be left alone. I'm there. I'm around. I keep it small and private for a reason. I want you to feel like you're with a group of like-minded people whose focus is to improve themselves and their relationship and their marriage, creating that legacy of love, bringing back from maybe feeling disconnected or desperate into feeling secure and confident. So you're going to get support, coaching, and tools with me, a licensed therapist in a private coaching container. It's private. It's very important to me. I see too much, personal information going out and being shared in ways that when the couple gets back on better place, you can't rewind what was out there. And many people kind of go shout it from the mountaintop or confide in friends. And those are all wonderful and lovely. And a lot of your friends are really good experts. However, as the relationship improves, as you start to be better, your friends, your family, social media remembers the bad times. Let's just eliminate it. Let's put it all in a private, supportive place where you're getting the right information, you're getting the right support, so you don't have to feel disconnected so long. Inside the Connected Couples Collective is a wealth of information and library of that accumulated over the years. The other thing I wanted to invite you to do is, while we're here and I'm talking about this, scan the QR code or use the link CCC with drliz.com/sales. Use those so you can take a look at what's going on and be one of the first to join today in this private group. But what I wanted to tell you is that this resource library, the videos I build, the things, they come from my real life working with folks. They come from requests, just like you or me. They come from my life. I say, I wish I had that information back then. Like how to deal with in-laws, how to navigate the holidays. What do you do when there's an illness or a transition or a death? How do I support them? How do I ask for support? So you also get to drive what's in this library, in this community space as well. The Connected Couples Collective, you can choose monthly or annual memberships. And when you do sign up for the annual, I've got a bunch of bonuses that go with it for you. So there'll be a form when you sign up, put your name, your information. You can pay securely online or request a bank transfer invoice. It's all up here. It's make what you feel most comfortable. And you would just need to contact me at 512-827-1460 to talk about the bank transfer invoice as opposed to a credit, a debit card, things like that. Once you sign up, you're going to get all your onboarding information on your thank you page. This is a little bit what it looks like. It tells you you're inside, and you can create your own membership right now. So you get to choose your usernames. You get to choose how you access it. Both of you, when you purchase that membership, both of you are included in the Connected Couples Collective. Just want to let you know. So 2 of you get to come in on with in the connection, in the Couples Connected. I want to make sure that each one of you know that. All right, it's not done. So you're also going to be able to join our private VIP school community. And inside there's a welcome video from me and ways to go to the calendar for our events, ways to go to the resource and library areas to get the information. And also just to reach out and message me, introduce yourself to everyone that's in the community. So you get to feel like you know one another and you get support. But the bonus, for those of you who roll in the annual plan, you're also going to get a one-on-one couples call with me. It's Zoom, and we're going to go over where you guys are, what you're looking for, get focus, get the direction, get the guidance that a VIP should. So you're going to have that for the annual, which is also gives you 2 months free. You're going to get a couples connection call with me. So this is the one you'd want to be choosing, the annual membership to get the VIP one-on-one. Another bonus is that in that couples call, we're going to have an assessment. You're going to be able to fill out some information, and I'm going to be able to guide you based on your relationship needs to understand the dynamics and what would be the next best steps for the 2 of you. Inside the annual bonus, number 2, you're going to receive 2 copies of my best-selling The Marriage Reset book and the Marriage Reset workbook. And those will be sent directly to both of you. So I want to know that enrollment is now open. I want you to, feel comfortable to go in there, browse around, look, but be sure to sign up, whether it's the monthly or the annual. And remember, the annual gets you the full one-on-one calls, the assessments, the books. And the question isn't whether, my question to you isn't whether your relationship can improve. It's just how deeply you're willing to reconnect, heal, and grow together. And that brings me to a couple that I recently worked with. They graduated. They're still hanging on. But I think I mentioned to you, but I have Gina and Dave. And Gina and Dave came to me. Well, actually, Gina came to me, and they had both filed for divorce. So attorneys were hired, retained, and she said, I heard you talk about the rocking chair test where did I feel like I've done enough? She said, I'm just not willing to give up over 35 years of marriage. I feel like there's something we could do. And mind you, retainers with attorneys, they were kind of walking on eggshells in the house. I said, yeah, there is things that you can do if you want to. So they joined me and started working with me. She started first. Gina was the first one and she said, I understand. I see where I've started contributing. I've been contributing to this disconnect. And her husband saw her starting to be a little bit differently, having the ability to say, I'm getting this, I'm understanding where I went wrong in the marriage, and he joined. And so the 2 of them worked with me exclusively in my VIP coaching. And you know what? After the 3rd time we met, the divorce was off. They paused the attorneys. They paused the mediation. They stopped figuring out what assets and how to divide. And they really started focusing on coming together. And I'm happy to say that they have successfully canceled the divorce. They've traveled extensively together. They've home, and home life is not eggshells. It's actually romance and fun and friendship. Their kids are thrilled. Their adult kids are thrilled with them, and they are planning family trips together. So I want you to be one of those success stories, just like this couple, but Anna and James, right? They got the breakthroughs that they didn't think they could ever manage or imagine. Sarah and John, they had tried therapy. It didn't work. Don't give up, guys. It's not you. It's the way the systems are working. You need the skills. You need the strategies. I'm going to teach them to you. And you need the skills and strategies that work for you, not cookie cutter. And here's testimony from Gina and Dave, and that they dismissed the divorce case. He's going on bucket list stuff. They've gone on bucket list stuff. And now they're repairing with the family, with the kids. And they are doing fantastic. And again, thank you, Tiana, for sharing how I was able to help you and your husband in your marriage. So, guys, it's not when, it's today. Go take a look at the Connected Couples Collective. Scan the QR code, check out the link, do the work, get the results. You're not going to be alone. I'm here. I'm here. Been doing this a long time. I love it. And been married. And I'm combining my personal and my professional experience, skills, and talents to help make sure that you're a success. So let's do it together. You're going to have the guided video lessons, worksheets, tools to help you rebuild and strengthen your relationship. If you have questions, you have things, just feel free to reach out to me. You have my phone number, you have contact. But let's just make this, let's end July in a great way. I'm looking forward to seeing you inside the Connected Couples Collective. I'm Dr. Liz Jenkins, and thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate all of you, and my special Kristen, for helping me out and supporting me along this masterclass. I will talk to you both soon. I'll talk to all of you soon inside the Connected Couples Collective. Bye, guys.